Hello, guys. Welcome back to You Don't Have to Be a Millionaire. My name is Happiness, and I am the voice of this podcast. And I know it has been a while since I recorded an episode, but I'm glad to be back and give you guys what you need to hear. So, as always, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, the topic of today, if you have not read the title, is discipline and savings. I know on this podcast, I do have many episodes about savings, opening different type of savings account, opening a savings account, and what to do to basically save. Because when we say save, saving is a little difficult as a millennial, if you can agree. I mean, let's talk about the inflation of prices, number one, the no increases of wages, number two. That's a different topic for a different episode, is it? However, that doesn't deter anyone. I've always been a believer that no matter what income you're making, it's always possible to save as long as you have one thing: consistency. So I'm here to talk about several ways to discipline yourself to save. So this isn't necessarily talking about, how to save, how much to save. This is the discipline of saving, which I believe that as a millennial is a major issue. Is maybe we do know how to save. We know all the tools. We have all the tools. We may even have the income, but it's the discipline to do it. So these are some of the things that have helped me, especially just learning over time how to really discipline myself to save, to make it more habitual, to the point now where it's just subconsciously I just save money, and I want to share it with you guys so you can put it into practice, make it become a habit, and you can subconsciously save your money. So point number one, I am going to explain how to be more disciplined in saving your money is any extra income that you make, put it in savings. Yes, this is 2021. It is the culture of hustle culture. Everybody is hustling. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that have 2-3 jobs, side jobs, passive income. I mean, I feel like millennials are in a way doing better, and we're finding other ways to make money. However, I feel like we need to be more disciplined in what we're doing with that money. So if you have any type of extra income that's coming from anything you're doing, whether you're selling something, whether you're providing a service, whether you're doing a second job, whatever it is, it's important to categorize your money in where is it going to go. So do you have a main job? Can that main job supplement your budget? And if you have a side job or a side gig, can that money just go in your savings? An example of this is me personally. I am a registered nurse, so my full-time job is working as a nurse. However, in our profession, we have many opportunities to pick up a lot of side gigs and side jobs. So at one point, I had 2 jobs, working in a major hospital and working what we call PRN, which is as needed in a smaller hospital. And with PRN, you're only required to work very few shifts a month, maybe 3 to 4 shifts a month. It's just shifts you pick up whenever you want to. During that time I was doing that second job, I was putting all that money for my second job in my savings. Yes, I did not touch a single cent of that money. All of it went into my savings because I disciplined myself to know that whatever money I'm getting for the main job is being used for whatever expenses I need. And then the second job, I'm like, well, this might as well just go into my savings. And I didn't realize how much money I saved from that job up until I left. And I was like, oh, wow, like, I don't even think I would have disciplined myself to save this from my main job. So I started practicing that in other ways. In other ways, I started having income. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this in my savings. Even when I used to work overtime, which is another thing, another point I want to say within point one, if you're working any overtime, how much money are you making for that overtime? And can you put that money in your savings instead? Just think of it like if you're working a regular day, you use your regular money for your expenses. But now you're working overtime. So can you still keep that regular money into your expenses and put that overtime money into your savings? Yes, definitely. And these are things I was practicing. And up until now, when I calculated how much I really saved from doing that, I was like, wow. So I suggest if you have that extra side gig, that extra income, or if you're picking up any extra time at your job, put all that money you're saving, and I promise you, you will see your money grow. So point number 2, you want to have set saving goals. Well, it sounds pretty general, right? You want to set your saving goals, and I'm not talking about yearly, like, oh, I want to save $10,000 by the end of the year. You want to set yourself up monthly, bi-monthly, every 3 months, every 6 months. You want to do this because you're holding yourself accountable. I used to set a yearly saving goal, and though there's nothing wrong about that, that's, still good. It could be a nice resolution for the year, how much you want to save. I think it's more, you put more responsibility for yourself when you set monthly saving goals. And it doesn't have to be a concrete number. Obviously, you can waver if you go under. Don't pressure yourself. Maybe something happened, rainy days happen. And then if you go under, but if you go over, that's even better. So what I started doing was having monthly goals, how much I want to save. And that pretty much helped me to even save more money and reach my yearly goal, because I was holding myself more accountable monthly. And it doesn't have to be monthly. You could do it at your pace. It could be every 2 months, every 3 months or so. But setting up the frequency of your goals make a big difference in reaching them. So the third point I want to go to is cutting costs. And I don't mean this to say like, oh, live very frugally. No, there's nothing wrong about that if that's the type of lifestyle you want. But cutting costs comes with a lot of things. Think about where you get your gas. Is there somewhere cheaper you can get your gas, but you're still driving the same distance or even a shorter distance? Think about where you're getting your groceries. That apple you're getting from store A, that's $6.99 a pound, but store B is having $4.99 a pound. Where are you getting your clothes? Where are you getting your shoes? You need to start thinking about the daily things you use in life. Cutting costs is not just, oh, I'm cutting back from buying food. I know a lot of people like to eat out or buying clothes. Sometimes it's the daily things you're using, your gas, if you use any supplies for your job, any technology you're using. Where can I get this cheaper? I need a new computer. Is it smart for me to buy it from the direct company, or can I get it cheaper somewhere else? Once you start cutting costs in the daily things you are actually using and knowing that there's cheaper alternatives or cheaper places to get it, you will find a major difference in your savings and how much you are saving and keeping your money in your account. So look into that and pay attention. Be hyper aware of cutting your costs in the daily things you use each day. That goes on to my fourth point. You should have a base amount of what you want to save no matter what. This can be a little trickier depending on your job, depending if your income is somewhat consistent or inconsistent. But I believe there should be a base amount. So let's say your base amount of what you want to save each month is $600. You should always set yourself up to have that $600. Think of it like a payment. Think of it like, oh, I have to pay myself $600 by the end of this month. Never go under, because now you're putting yourself in debt. And if you go over, of course, there's nothing wrong with going over and saving more. Of course, we love that. But I say this to say is have that base amount. I started doing this for myself, saying that, oh, I should be able to save this amount of money every month. Just this minimum amount I should be able to save. If I go under, I'm doing myself a disservice. If I go over, then obviously that's good. That's nice. That's, even better. But have your base amount. Set your number that you feel is comfortable for you, that you can save every month comfortably. My next point, which I forgot the number, but my next point is plan to replace your rainy days. So I don't mean to say all these points, because sometimes things happen. That brake is squeaking. You got that oil leaking. Okay. Cars start making some funny sounds. For you guys that like to turn up your radio and ignore it, don't ignore it. Sometimes we have our rainy days. We have to take out some extra money to pay for something in your apartment started leaking. This happened. You got to get something new. Somebody else needs help. So sometimes you'll have a rainy day, but it's also important to replace your rainy day. So if you had a little rainy day, you had to take a little extra $1,000, what are you going to do to replace back that money? That's very important when it comes to saving. I know they always say save for a rainy day, but you don't want your whole savings to be a rainy day. Okay, you want to have an umbrella next time. So what are you going to do? You're going to prepare. You're going to save. What are you going to do to replace that money? What are you going to do to, get back on track with your goal? Always have a plan, but have a plan to replace your rainy day. You don't want to have too many rainy days and now all of a sudden you blew out through all your savings. My last but not least point is, remember back in the day when we used to have minutes on phones, like phones used to have minutes, and whatever minutes you didn't use in a month, phone companies will allow you to roll over the minutes. Do the same thing with your money, okay? Roll over your money. So whatever budget you have for the month with your expenses, you already paid your bills, you already paid your rent, you already paid everything you need to pay. And let's say you have some. Roll over that money back into your savings. Don't feel like you have to spend it. Roll it back to your savings, and you'll be surprised how much you'll save from that. Just seeing that you have extra money that you didn't spend, and go ahead and roll it back in that savings. So the same thing with the roll over minutes, roll it back in that savings. And this is the end of the episode. I hope these points help you guys to become more disciplined and consistent with your saving. And obviously these are things that it's not going to happen in one day, but I can guarantee you with practicing these for one whole year, you will see a major difference. As always, thank you for listening and stay tuned for the next episode.